a warm welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Luke Hals. I'm the senior taster of Whisky.com. My profession, my learned profession, is aerospace engineer. Yeah, but I'm working in this internet mail order company because it was very modern, very technique driven, and spaceships are very rare, so that I'm not able to take my ride yet. And so I today taste my Johnnie Walker Blue from the series Cities of the Future, and this is the city, of course, Mars in the year 2220. It's 40% ABV and it costs around 200 euros. And here we have it, the typical Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And on this, how to make that? And on this bottle, you have this blue, this rectangular or quadratic shape, and the striding man is still there. And on the back, you see a picture of the imagination of a artist called Luke Hals. And he sees, like mushrooms, habitats on Mars, and monorails passing below, and have these these coverings for the atmosphere. But if you're familiar with the thoughts today we have conquering Mars, Elon Musk and so on, then we will have to hide below the surface because of the high radiation, missing magnetic field, for having a shield against cosmic rays. So this is a wonderful fantasy, and probably there will be one of those spheres on Mars for tourists, but the typical living had to be behind big shields of Earth, of Mars, and of stone, better to say. Yeah, city of Mars. And on the back you see the Earth and the Moon, and this is, of course, I think if you have such a scenery, Earth would be 4 pixel on this print and not that big. Yeah, this is it. And how to open this bottle, always a question. There's this seal with a plumb. This is very typical for Johnnie Walker. And how to open that. Here we go. Johnnie Walker Blue Label belongs to always the side with the label. Is one of the flagships of the Johnnie Walker brand, and it's not the best. There's King George V. I think this is around 500, 700 euros from the Johnnie Walker range of whiskies, but this is widely available, always available, top range of Johnnie Walker. And Johnnie Walker is a blended whiskey, means that you have malt whiskies and grain whiskies mixed together in an artisanal fashion, and always trying to meet the exact tastes you would like to have. So this shouldn't change over the years, and therefore you have to be very careful mixing those malt whiskies together and then adding grain whiskey, having more smoothness, more oiliness to have that. And the Johnnie Walker Cities of the Future, there is some, I think, Berlin and London and Paris, probably. I don't know exactly how many different cities of the future are there. There had been series before with cities. There had been in city Munich, close to where we live. I remember that. But I think this will be limited over the years. Yeah. More to say? Nope. Johnnie Walker is one of the whiskies which, Alexander Walker, who was I think the second generation of the Walkers, he was very famous for spreading the blended whiskies all over the world. I think this happened in 1820 something, where he started with this expanding. Years before, there had been just a grocery store, I think. And he just started to have a consistent blending process and exporting these whiskies to the New World, of course. And yeah. Light smokiness. This is very typical for Johnnie Walker, because in former years it was typical to dry your malt over a peat fire. And with this peat fire you get the smokiness into the barley or the malt for the production. So all whiskies had been slightly peaty, and Johnnie Walker kept that. Today we are able to produce whiskey without any smokiness, and a lot of people like that. But to mirror the old taste of the years, you have to add a little bit of smokiness to every blended whiskey. Some more, some less. So if you have to, I have to give a number for that, 5 ppm, 7 ppm, not more. It's very faint. There's some nuttiness in it, showing that there probably are some sherry casks in it, which show this nuttiness, if they're fresh. And a light winey or grapey or resin notes. Or sultanas, yeah. Cheers. This is what Johnnie Walker Blue stands for. It's juicy, oily, friendly, gentle on your tongue. Wonderful, mixed and balanced. And then some light spiciness shows through from the oak, moving over to some bitter chocolate. And this shows that there are old whiskies in it, because these dark chocolate notes only appear if you mature a whiskey very long in oak. So there are old whiskies in it as well, of course, and they pride themselves that there are very old whiskies in it, but they don't give you numbers. And I think it's also forbidden to give it. Yeah. The aftertaste is long, intense, some sweet notes in it. What's it? Oranges, some citrus notes. Dark juicy fruits, berries. A honey note in it as well. And some influence from the sea, seaweed. Yeah. So very complex, very elegant, very well balanced. So one of the artisanal masterpieces you're able to get, and this stands in line with any single malt whiskey, because it's so very well made and contains such a big amount of malt whiskies. And it's said it should be 80% malt whiskies in it, which I believe. So the grain whiskey influence is not that big. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.